Well, hey there, guys. I'm Jack. Welcome to another episode of Raw Tropical Living. I appreciate you tuning in today. I'm looking forward to a great week, and I hope you are too. As I'm recording this right now, it's been a really nice weekend. Nothing special, just a nice, quiet weekend. Kind of got charged up yesterday, got some sun for the first time, and I think I'm going to go take some more right after I do this video. I have not been getting my vitamin D this summer, and I'm going to try to catch up on it as we have several more months of warm weather, but it's just not as crazy hot right now as it has been. Anyhow, today I want to start the week off talking about 3 raw vegan mistakes to avoid. I do videos every day, so if you haven't already done it, please go down there and hit that subscribe button now. Then immediately click on that little bell and check send notifications so you'll be sure and stay subscribed to the channel. YouTube tends to unsubscribe people. Man, just before I get started, I had an amazing dinner last night, and sometime this week there will be a recipe video coming. I won't even talk about it until I do it, but stay tuned. This is a good one. I probably enjoyed dinner last night more so than I have in a long time that I make. I mean, you know, that was some pretty epic dinners at Woodstock. But anyhow, the mistakes to avoid, the 3 particular ones I have to avoid today. I've done videos like this before. I've done other videos, mistakes to avoid. I'm just kind of like, I'm always thinking on the go, maybe thinking something new, a different way to say it, or just simply, you know, I don't repost videos and I don't do them the same way over. But you know, when you do a video every day, not everybody has watched every video. So for some people, if I did the same video once a week, it's only going to get to a certain amount of people. But anyhow, I'm just rambling now. Actually, I have 3 raw vegan mistakes to avoid, but it might be just 2 and an extra sub down from that. It might be 2 to avoid and then a 2A, but you'll see what I'm talking about. Let's talk about it. One of the big mistakes I see people on this lifestyle doing is getting stuck, staying with something too long when it's obviously not working. You know, it's kind of like that, oh, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Well, that's how a lot of people seem to do this lifestyle, and it's because they treat it like a diet. I mentioned that the other day. When you do this lifestyle like a diet with that mentality, it's just you're gonna have a struggle. But just staying with something too long, I've seen this. I see this in the Facebook groups from people that I've seen their faces. Sometimes we're not even connected on Facebook. You're probably like that. I have really good recognition of faces, although I can't remember names for anything. So when I'm seeing those different names with the avatar, it locks it in. And I've seen so many people. They've been doing the same old for years, 2 or 3 years since I've been associated or connected with them or seen them. And it's not working. And it's just not working, you know. And sometimes those very same people, they've been trying it, attempting it, hanging around groups so long. They're fans of it. They'll actually argue with people. Let me just step off for a minute there. Like, if you're not actually successful on this lifestyle, or no, let's just generalize that to life. If you're not successful on something, don't pontificate, don't go telling anybody else how it should be done. Until you're actually doing something, you know, maybe you shouldn't be so opinionated, because like I say, I see people that they've become part of the group. They're fans. They're always hanging around. They've memorized a lot of stuff. They've read a lot of books. They usually have a guru or two that they can quote chapter and verse, and they'll get into every single argument. They will argue about recipes. They'll argue about too much fat, not enough fat, and they're not doing this lifestyle. They've never done it. They've never done it for more than 15 minutes. So don't get stuck. If something is not working, realize that in your head. You know, don't close your eyes to what's right in front of you. If something's not working, you don't have to panic. You don't have to freak out. You don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak. You don't have to be like, well, this diet doesn't work, or this lifestyle doesn't work. This way of eating doesn't work. No, you haven't found a way to make it work for you. But if you've given something that good old college try and you're just not getting there, or some people think they're doing the raw food diet or the raw vegan lifestyle, and technically they are doing the raw vegan lifestyle, but once again, that goes back to where I'm talking about the people that will, eat however much fat they have to do just to stay raw. And then they wonder why they're not getting the benefits from this lifestyle. Well, why am I not losing the weight? Why is my skin not clearing up? Why is my digestion not better? Well, because you're just kind of, you've boxed yourself into this thing of like, okay, raw is the whole thing. Nothing else matters. And that's just not the case. So, if something's not working after you've given it adequate time, give it a little thought, do some regrouping, and don't let your ego be too big to take a step back, even regroup and start all over. So number 2 would actually be the opposite, and that's people that jump. They give up too soon on the lifestyle. They're not even giving it 15 minutes to work. I see this all the time too. I see examples. And also too, I posted something the other day on Facebook. When I say these examples, these are just like big picture, kind of a blurry picture of the whole experience I've had on social media and with people in general. I'm never talking about an individual person or people, and I'm never actually talking about any particular Facebook group or forum or whatever. This is just a big picture of, if you put them all together, kind of a general vibe, thought pattern that goes through them. So just to get that out of the way. But so many of these same faces I'm talking about that you see, after a while of doing this and reaching out and networking and talking with people online, are the people that are constantly jumping. They do something for 2 weeks and they're like, yep, that didn't work for me, we're on to the other one. Yep, that didn't work for me, we're on to the other one. Well, I doubt too many things. Now, yes, we can, when you come to a plant-based lifestyle and when you go raw, a lot of people see incredible results right from the beginning. But even the biggest you're going to get, 2 weeks, a week, 2 weeks, even a month, that's just not quite enough adequate time to give something a fair shot. And it's just like, I was watching, God, what was I watching? It's kind of that hokey thing, but somebody made a point. In some movie or something I was watching on Netflix last night about how somebody keeps trying. Oh, like the person on the desert island. As soon as they're shipwrecked, they light a fire. They light a fire every day, every night, in hopes that a ship will come. And they do it, and they do it, and they do it. Maybe that first year rolls around, and they're like, well, look, I do it every night. It's not going to happen. They stop lighting a fire at night. And a few days after that, there's a ship out there that would have seen them. So it can be like that also, too. Like, I think a lot of people, and I have seen specific cases of this, where I see somebody give up on something or change their methods, and I'm like, wow, I really think they were going in the right direction, but they didn't give it enough time. They were impatient. It was like, part of this now, instant gratification society. There's so many people that if you don't get something, you don't get results, you don't get exactly what you want immediately, you're impatient and you got to jump to something else or jump to a different way of trying it. Got to give it a little bit of time sometimes. And the reason here's number 3, or maybe this is 2A, it's big leaps in causality, like where people go, this causes this. I see just way too much out there that just doesn't make any sense. I've had people comment to me, I've had people send me, messages on Instagram and different places like, I've been doing the raw diet for 5 days now and my hair itches on my head. Or just something, just the oddest things, and they make a connection. It's like, or I've been raw for 3 days and something itches, or I'm like, really? I just don't think it's even, I think you're just putting two events together that have no connection. There's always exceptions. Maybe there's somebody that's really toxic, or maybe there's somebody's body that really expels, toxins at a quicker level. But if you're even transitioning over to a raw food diet, if you're eating enough food, you just shouldn't have, your body shouldn't just go wonky in 3 days. Think about it. Think about it. You could go somewhere where you couldn't even get food. You could go without food for 3 days. God forbid, but before we lived like we did, we could have lived on fast food for 3 days. You could live going to the damn Circle K down on the corner and eating junk for 3 days. So I think people maybe, I don't know, maybe there's some psychology going on in there. Maybe they've seen, they've started joining groups, or they've started seeing some literature, or they're starting to educate themselves, and they see these detox symptoms, and they start kind of putting two and two together, or they imagine it, or when they have some little something with their body, they're like, oh, I'm detoxing 2 or 3 days later. And most likely, you're just, like I say, there's no connection between the two. And your body is not going to respond that radically. You're not going to have, I don't think, unless you jump from the worst version of SAD right into a water fast, I don't think like in 2 or 3 or 4 days, you're just going to have these, something like really go like, oh my God, I've been doing this for 3 or 4 days and bam, my stomach shut down. You see what I'm getting at right there? So don't necessarily, after a few days of eating this lifestyle, if something just randomly, maybe you've got a headache for something else, maybe you're not hydrated, whatever, but it's not necessarily this new way you're eating that caused that. And don't jump to make that conclusion. But once again, that can be kind of on like looking for too much too soon. That's why I said kind of 1A instead of giving up too soon. Also making leaps in causality too soon. I know, I think that's getting a little confusing there, but anyhow, yeah, those are just different mistakes, just like, look at this as a long-term thing. Forget about that whole day-to-day, how much progress you're making. Just put your head down, educate yourself, move forward every day. I just have to keep going back to that. I think that's why I just really embraced this lifestyle. It became such a big part of my life, and it's given me what it has, is because I just threw my hands up when I started on this one. There was no expectations, no time frames, no, okay, how much weight am I losing? None of that. I just said, I really, really did do what I talk about here. I just focused on the process, and I focused on eating healthy, clean, good food every day, learning more, moving forward. It's worked for me. Your mileage may vary, but that's all I've got to say on it today. Anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you like it, I'd appreciate if you give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Peace.